In a shameless attempt to get more music out of you.
No, that's fine. Ask.
No, I was going to ask
absolutely.
you about what records at the time of your time at Lansdowne Street stuck out for you as like some of your biggest records, but not just. I mean, I talked to Val and everybody else about the obvious ones, right? And how we all know that.
Is this for me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We all know that there were some things like "I Will Survive." Everybody knew was going to be huge, and "Training Men." Everybody knew was going to be huge.
Yeah.
There were records you knew right away were going to be huge. Did you get tired of those records? Did you phase those out sooner? When you say you bought a lot of new music to keep it interesting, I say you didn't get bored. How did you never get bored with records that they wanted night after night after night after night?
See, I didn't. I never was a DJ that took many requests.
Okay.
Like I knew there were the top 10s. Like at the Billboard list, I never used to go and read people were reading the Billboard chart list. I never really did. I mean, I did. I would buy Billboard and read the chart because I used to go buy Billboard, pick my records up right at this post office right here, and go to the Oak Room and have lunch, and read my Billboard magazine and have a Grand Marnier. You know what I mean?
Sounds like a nice.
That's what I used to do. But I never, it was all records that I got in the pool anyway, except you'd see something new and it would be an import, and that's what got me buying the imports. And so I just got into buying imports. So I would go to New York, like sneak off and go to New York, and Everett Music had fabulous imports.
Now, is this what you think gives a DJ a leg up sometimes?
Absolutely.
Is their skill at finding things?
New music, yeah. Because, honey, I was always a DJ with the mindset, like, you play the hit, it's the top 40, we know they love those songs. So you play a couple of those to get them going, honey. If you have that kind of crowd, some places you have to play the hits all night long. I couldn't work in a place like that, you have to play them all night long. I never really have, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So, I would play the imports, like the top 10 stuff. Like I would have those top 10 records, and in the beginning, I'd start off with what I want, always slower, in a slower vein. And then I'd play a hit or two, like more, how do you like it, and build it on up. And that would get them on the floor, and by 10:30, you play a couple of more of their favorite songs, and then after that, you just take them on that. For me, I would just take them on that journey and play all the new records I could, and I got into that habit. So they would be, conditioned to that instead of wanting the hits all the time.
Yeah, but no, I mean, this is interesting to me because, I have these conversations a lot, even now with DJing T-Dance, that you have to try and gain their trust, and the only way you can gain their trust
is by playing
some of the hits.
Yeah.
That they know that at the very least they're going to hear
their favorite song. Oh, I had to do that.
Yeah.
I had to do that in the beginning.
Yeah.
But see, I used to play it like this, like if the floor never opened up that much. Once I got them going, honey, the floor stayed crowded all night. Every now and again, you might do a bombie, honey, and the floor would go, bottom of the Red Sea, and that's when you throw on like their favorite song, like,
right.
And like once an hour, you play one or two of their favorite songs. That's how I did it.
And also, another common bit of DJ wisdom is that they need to go to the bar and get a drink sometimes.
Right, because the floor opens up and a whole new crowd comes on, and the bar.
So you would see turnover.
Absolutely. That's what they liked down P-Town when I worked there. They said, Tony Porter, we never seen anybody make these cash registers ring the way you do. I don't know how. You just play what, you get some people on the floor, play that set of music, you play some new wave, and we haven't even got there yet, huh?
I know. I need to hear about all this.
Yeah.
But Lansdowne Street, it's still the height of the disco era.
Oh, yeah.
What other songs stand out for you?
Okay.
Like, say, the most popular ones, things that you feel like don't...
Devil's Gun.
Yeah.
That was a big one.
Yeah.
There was one, I used to play this one, nobody else in town played it, by the Cantor Sisters from Canada. It's a cover of Elvis Presley. You'll be hard pressed to find it, but if you do, you let me know, honey, because I can't find that record. It's called Hound Dog, by the Cantor Sisters. Yeah. I went to Flamingo, I heard it here, but I went to Flamingo one night in New York, and Bobby DJ played it. I'll tell you that story later on, too. Another song, Liquid Pleasure, which is really the same group. Paul keeps saying it's not, but it is. They same people. They did My Baby's Baby, Liquid Gold. You know that song.
Yeah.
But they did a song before that called Take a Little Love. It came out of the Boston record pool, 7-inch with a little hole in it. And it was like 541. That was a big one. I had to play that record. I just had to play that record.
But these weren't records that were necessarily getting a lot of airplay either. Were
No, not at all. Not in the beginning. Those records, there weren't that many stations. Well, WBOS or whatever they
And ILD, right?
ILD, but they weren't even playing that kind. They were still playing that funky aqua boogie foolishness. You know me. I didn't want to get on that number 49 bus, girl, or that number 29, whatever bus it is. I used to call the Orange Line the African Queen. But I played some of that stuff, like One Nation Under a Groove. I played that. Everybody played that. And I played my share of straight clubs. What's so funny, bro?
Go ahead.
I never played all that. That was that straight disco groove.
Yeah.
But if I played in a straight club, I played those records.
Right.
But
Stephen Burke was playing in straight places.
Right. And Lansdowne was straight when I worked there. It was a straight club.
Right.
But I played all the game music. That's what I think that might have helped me there. You know what I mean? I was playing stuff that they weren't hearing in the other straight clubs.
Right.
Some of the things they were hearing, but not all of it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just like Don Ray. Don, Got to Have Love. I played that yesterday. Paul sent me a copy. You know that song? Yeah, that. What else? Turn the Beat Around by Vicki Sue Robinson. That was another one when Lansdowne was open.
That was massive.
Huge. Yeah. So that was, to me, that was a top 40. Like a top 40.
And this is when that stuff starts to get onto the radio.
Right. And that's when the 12 inches were coming out. This is 10%. The first commercially successful 12-inch.
Right.
There were 12 inches before that.
Right.
But they didn't make them, to buy. 10% by Double Exposure.
Yeah.
That was a big one. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Do You Want to Get Funky With Me? There's a whole slew of them. I Will Survive came out.
Yeah.
There was another one on that album called, I used to called Anybody Want to Party. But there was another one I used to play for the gay crowd when I played for a gay crowd called I Said Yes by Gloria Gaynor. All right, it's time. I'll give you some tidbits, girl.
I'll be going home and listening to it. And Tony will be putting some of this on the YouTube. I'll be writing some of these down, too.
For imports, there was the group Belly Park. They had a record on Atco in the 70s called Miss Broadway. It was a big popular record in the beginning of disco, 76, 75. Belly Park. And they did an album out of France called Bama Lama.
This is Belly Pop?
Yeah, Belly Pop, Bama Lama, and there was a couple of more songs. One was called Drink Me. Ooh, that was a good one, honey. That was another one. Love Trip, Pulse 3, put that down here. That's another one. These are records you're going to want to have. These are the records that I used to play.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, Love Trip,
Pulse 3. Yeah, Pulse 3 on Career Records out of France. And another one by the Garçons. That was a real big one at Lansdowne Street, called French Boys by the Garçons on Philips import out of France, yellow vinyl. You probably get it on 12-inch or on the.
I'm curious about how much of this stuff is available digitally. This is what's interesting to me.
You know what? It is.
I know that some labels will do things like Disco Discharge and will do compilations of a lot of obscure stuff, but I feel like I'm afraid a lot of it is just, and then there's a whole discussion of vinyl purists versus digital, and one of the advantages people have to still playing vinyl is that they can find things that have never really been digitized properly.
Well, I know French Boys has been digitized.
Yeah, right.
It has, and it sounded great back then, and I heard it, and it sounds even better now.
Yeah.
It's just everything's up and out and wait till you hear it. You're gonna love it.
I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about this as we get into the '80s and house music starts to become a thing.
Okay.
Because I want to talk about that versus disco.
Okay, certainly.
What you think the differences are? Hold that thought.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So you're at Lansdowne Street. You're playing that what happens after Lansdowne Street? You're there how long?
I worked there 3 years.
Almost
4 years. I started in April '76 until the beginning of '79, the first 2 or 3 months. Because they opened it as Boston. I was the disc jockey. Opened the night of Boston. Grace Jones was a featured performer. So I worked there a year after that. And Boston opened in 1978. So 4 years. I was there for a while. Because by that time, Conrad was gone.
Yeah.
Conrad, after him and John had a fight, or John, I didn't get him fired, certainly. But he was gone. Like, John wanted me there, or whatever the heck it was. I didn't steal his job, but I ended up the head disc jockey.
Right.
And I stayed that way for...
And it was still straight a lot of those nights.
Yeah, I mean, fags used to go, gay people. It was like an everything,
Yeah.
But it was mostly straight,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah, you didn't care.
I didn't care. I wasn't playing because I was going to New York, honey, like going to 12 West and...
Had you stopped? Did you find New York had a better scene than Boston?
Oh, yeah.
So you thought so? Even though you were friends with all these people playing.
Yeah, New York was
if you
all...
wanted to go out,
I would go to New York. I didn't really... Well, they had after hours clubs.
yeah.
There was one over there on Tremont Street, there across from the Common, called the Astor Theater. It was an old movie theater, and Henry Barber turned it into an after hours club. It was open for about a year, and my friend Butchie played there.
Butch.
Yeah, and I would go in after leaving Lansdowne Street and go over there, take a hit of acid, honey, and go over there just till 8 o'clock in the morning.
Did it have a name, this after hours place?
Union Station. Called Union Station. $20 to get in.
Yeah. It went all night.
Yeah, it went all night until everybody left.
But there was a distinct lack of like exciting night for you nightlife in Boston.
Yeah.
Aside from some after hours places, whereas New York really.
Yeah, even the liquor bars open till 4, and even most of them they just cut the liquor off and
But they
still,
stay open.
Yeah,
Nobody bothers.
and that was the problem with Boston. You only had the 5 hours, whereas in New York, you had 9-10 hours to play, and you could really take them on a musical journey. And I would buy the records in New York that I heard that were wonderful. And
how'd you find out what they were? You asked
just
the
go
DJ?
up to the DJ and say, "Honey, what's this?" And they said, show you the cover. And most DJs were receptive, you know.
Because Val and I have this long-running joke about people scratching out the labels on.
Oh, I did that. I magic marketed out a couple of records in my day. Do you want to get funky? Nobody had it, and I went to Scepter Records and they said, we got a record coming out. And I said, well, send it to me in the mail. I was talking with Mel, actually. And,
Sharon?
Yeah. And he said, it'll be out by then. And so he said, we got some going to Downstairs Records tomorrow. So I went to Downstairs Records after the Better Days, and they had it, and it came out on TK. And I got a test pressing of it, and I blacked it out and brought it back and played it. And nobody had it. Like, maybe Dane I had it, John Luongo perhaps, but not maybe 5 people in the city had it, but I was one of them. I worked in the biggest club. So.
Yeah. So there was some advantage to sort of keeping some secret weapons to yourself.
Well, yeah, you have to. One or two tidbits you got to keep to yourself.
No, I get it.
Yeah, you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That secret song I like to call them.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I still do it.
Yeah, you
as best you can nowadays.
Yeah, I mean,
with people have Shazam now, they can just press.
I know, go like that.
And find out what it is, and that kind of thing.
And there's millions and millions of songs. It's incredible how much music there is. I mean, we would scour we thought we were doing good back then. Now it's like music so much.
Well, what the difference then, I think, was that there were gatekeepers, meaning of the music. So
right.
if you went to Carol's store, she had listened to a bunch of stuff, and she decided what she thought was worth buying at the store. And so it had already passed through one channel.
Right.
And been weeded out to some degree.
Right. Every music was the same way before Carol.
Right.
And Strawberries even.
But even record pools did it to some degree.
Right.
And they must have been getting sent junk all the time.
But a lot of the junk, I call them the Marlboro labels, but that's really the stuff they were playing in New York when you think about it, like with that more mongrel-y stuff they were playing this big stuff too, but there was the other stuff that they were playing at 4 in the morning on the mongrel labels. What's that record like? And that's the stuff I would like to bring back to Boston and play.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So the whole. So around the time that you're leaving Lansdowne is 79, which for Val and a few other DJs we've talked to, they consider one of perhaps the best year for
music. I think 78 too.
Yeah.
I thought 78 was a wonder. That era from 78 to 80, it was just like.
At its peak.
Right.
This is right after a little while after Saturday Night Fever now, right?
Yeah.
Saturday Night Fever's kind of changed things, not for the best either.
No, all right, get this. When Lansdowne was open, they had John Travolta there. Saturday Night Fever was the biggest thing. It had become commercialized.
Right.
I took the night off. I couldn't be bothered. I said, I'm not going in there to play. I just couldn't, because I was hanging in New York, and it was just like not my scene, screaming girls and all that. I couldn't be bothered. I took it to acid and went over to my friend's house and watched the Wizard of Oz.
Did you like the Bee Gees though?
Yeah, love the Bee Gees, love it, but I just knew it was like I didn't want to be a part of it. I just, that's how. Which goes to show you, like, disco, Michael Levy used to say, don't issue straight overture conservatism. What was it he used to say? Disco, don't issue straight conservative overtures. Michael Evers.
That was Michael Evers. Don't issue
straight conservative overtures. Disco. And we took the night off that night because he was my light man. We were boyfriends. I was with Michael for 7 years.
Yeah, and he was doing lights for you.
Yeah, he was my light man. I have to mention light man, Wayne Savage. They didn't get their due, and there's others that have passed on.
I want to talk about lights too a little bit after. But I think